Have you ever wondered why some women seem to effortlessly captivate men while others struggle to hold their attention? What separates those who command desire from those who remain unnoticed? Is it beauty? Wealth? Charm? While these elements play a role, they aren't the ultimate secret to attraction. The real secret lies in understanding the dark Stoic psychology of attraction, a delicate interplay of mystery, confidence, and emotional control. This isn't about manipulation or mind games. It's about mastering the art of subtle influence to become unforgettable. If you've ever felt frustrated or powerless in your relationships, this guide will transform the way you approach connection and intimacy. Men are drawn to women who evoke curiosity and admiration, but here's the catch. Many women unknowingly sabotage their own allure. They give too much too soon, over-explain, or chase validation. If this sounds familiar, don't worry. You're not alone, and you're not beyond hope. The problem isn't you. It's the method. In this journey, I'll unveil 9 transformative strategies to help you step into your power, using principles rooted in Stoicism and dark psychology. These methods don't just change how men see you, they change how you see yourself. They'll give you the confidence to move with purpose and become magnetic in ways you never imagined. Are you ready to rewrite your story? Let's dive in. 1. The power of ignoring. Imagine this. A man is used to being the center of attention. Everywhere he goes, people hang on his words, women lean in to laugh at his jokes, and compliments flow like water. He's confident also, it seems. But what happens when, for the first time, someone doesn't fall into this rhythm? What happens when you subtly step back and leave him wondering? The answer is simple. Intrigue. Attention is a powerful currency, and most people give it away too freely. Men, in particular, are accustomed to receiving it without effort. But when you withhold your attention, you disrupt the balance. Suddenly he's forced to question, why isn't she reacting the way others do? What makes her different? This strategy isn't about playing hard to get or engaging in manipulative tactics. Instead, it's about recalibrating your own worth. When you shift your focus inward, prioritizing your passions, goals, and self-respect, you naturally become less available. And that absence speaks volumes. Think about the principle of Stoicism. It teaches us to control what is within our power and let go of what is not. You can't control his feelings, but you can control how you direct your energy. By being selective about where your attention goes, you communicate that it is valuable. You create a space where he has to step up and earn it. The magic lies in the subtlety. You're not ignoring him to punish or confuse. Instead, you're demonstrating independence and emotional resilience. Men are wired to chase what they perceive as rare or hard to attain. By holding back, not in a dramatic way, but in a confident, composed manner, you spark that desire to pursue. But how do you execute this without coming across as cold or indifferent? First, observe. Notice how often you reach out, compliment, or accommodate him. Then, gradually pull back. Let him wonder why your responses are slower, or why you're not always available for a last-minute plan. Use this term to focus on your growth, whether it's a hobby, a fitness goal, or a personal passion. The key is to fill that space with meaning, not pretense. Remember, withholding attention isn't about punishing someone. It's about protecting your energy and sharing that you're a woman of depth and purpose. When done right, this technique rooted in dark Stoic psychology will leave him intrigued, curious, and eager to earn your attention. And here's a question for you. How would it feel to have him thinking about you constantly, wondering what makes you so different? The answer is closer than you think. Stay with me, because what comes next will take your allure to the next level. 2. Independence and purpose. Close your eyes for a moment and picture the kind of woman who turns heads without uttering a word. She walks into a room with quiet confidence, her energy magnetic. What sets her apart? It's not her dress, her smile, or even her charm, it's her independence. She radiates a sense of purpose, a life so full and rich that others can't help but want to be part of it. Now, here's the secret. Men are naturally drawn to women with purpose. Why? Because a woman who knows her value doesn't need constant validation. She doesn't chase attention or bend her priorities to accommodate someone else. Instead, she invites people into her world, a world that's exciting, vibrant, and deeply fulfilling. What does independence look like in action? It means waking up every day with goals that excite you. It's investing in yourself, your career, your passions, your body, your mind. It's carving out a life where you don't need someone to complete you, but you welcome someone who adds value to your already remarkable journey. Men crave this energy. Independence signals strength and self-reliance, qualities that are deeply attractive. Think about it. How often have you heard someone say, "I can't stop thinking about her, she has this confidence I can't put into words"? That's the power of independence. But let's take it a step further. Independence isn't just about staying busy. It's about aligning your actions with a deeper sense of purpose. This is where the principles of Stoicism come into play. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what truly matters, to avoid distractions and superficial pleasures, and instead dedicate ourselves to meaningful pursuits. When your life revolves around growth and fulfillment, you stop seeking external validation. This shift doesn't go unnoticed. Men sense it instinctively. They see a woman who isn't waiting to be chosen but is instead choosing herself every single day. Here's an example. Imagine you have plans to attend a yoga class or a networking event that's important to you. He calls and asks if you can cancel to meet him for a last-minute coffee. What do? The independent woman sticks to her plan. She politely declines and suggests another time, signaling that her commitments to herself come first. And guess what? That confidence leaves him wanting more. This doesn't mean being inflexible or dismissive. It's about setting boundaries and honoring your time. When you do this consistently, you become the woman who isn't just attractive but unforgettable. You've created a dynamic where he starts prioritizing you, recognizing that your time is a privilege, not a given. How can you cultivate this independence? Start small. Dedicate time each week to activities that nurture your growth, whether it's learning a new skill, working out, or simply journaling to reflect on your goals. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. When your life feels full, you naturally exude an energy that's magnetic. And here's a question for you. What's one thing you've always wanted to pursue but kept putting off? Whether it's a hobby, a career move, or a personal challenge, start today. When you invest in yourself, the rewards ripple into every area of your life. Now, let's spark some conversation. In the comments below, share one way you're going to cultivate independence starting this week. I'd love to hear your goals and cheer you on. And if you're finding these insights valuable, don't forget to like this video. It's your way of saying, "Yes, I'm ready to step into my power." Every like helps this community grow, so we can all elevate together. Let's keep going because the next principle will shift how you approach attraction forever. 3. Stop rewarding bad behavior. Have you ever caught yourself overlooking red flags or excusing behavior that doesn't sit right with you? Maybe he cancels plans last minute or fails to show you the respect you deserve, and yet you let it slide, hoping he'll change or see your worth. But here's the hard truth. Every time you reward bad behavior with attention, forgiveness, or silence, you teach him that his actions are acceptable. It's time to break this cycle. One of the most powerful ways to control attraction is to stop rewarding behavior that diminishes your value. Men respect boundaries, even if they don't consciously realize it. And the moment you set those boundaries, firmly but gracefully, you shift the entire dynamic in your favor. So, How do you stop rewarding bad behavior without creating conflict or drama? It begins with your response. Or, more accurately, your lack of response. Silence can be your greatest ally. This isn't about playing games or being petty. It's about using silence as a tool for self-respect. If he's showing you disrespect or testing your limits, stepping back communicates that you won't tolerate less than you deserve. This aligns beautifully with the teachings of Stoicism, which emphasize control over your reactions. Stoic principles teach that we cannot change the actions of others, but we can always control how we respond. When someone behaves poorly, the best course of action is often to disengage. You're not punishing them, you're prioritizing your peace. For example, imagine he sends a dismissive or rude message. Instead of firing back or trying to explain your feelings, you simply don't respond. You focus on your own life, your own priorities. This absence of reaction speaks louder than any words ever could. It sends a clear message. I'm not someone you can treat this way. Men are wired to seek what they can't easily have. When you show him that bad behavior creates distance rather than closeness, he's forced to reevaluate his approach. This subtle shift often prompts him to step up, to meet your standards rather than expecting you to lower yours. But let's take it deeper. Not rewarding bad behavior isn't just about handling disrespect. It's about refusing to settle for mediocrity. If he isn't putting in effort, showing up for you emotionally, or treating you with the care you deserve, why give him the privilege of your attention? The strongest message you can send is the one that says, I value myself too much to settle for less. This principle isn't always easy to implement, especially if you're emotionally invested. But every time you uphold your boundaries, you grow stronger. You're not just teaching him how to treat you, you're teaching yourself that your time and energy are precious. Remember this. Men are highly observant when it comes to the dynamics of a relationship. If he senses that you're willing to excuse poor behavior, he'll push those boundaries further. On the flip side, when he sees that you hold your ground, he'll rise to the occasion or step aside for someone who will. In essence, stopping the reward of bad behavior is about alignment. It's about living in a way that reflects your worth. And as you practice this, you'll notice something remarkable. The right men will begin to gravitate toward you. Those who aren't willing to meet your standards will naturally fade away, leaving room for connections built on mutual respect and admiration. Take a moment to reflect. What are the small behaviors you've overlooked in the past that didn't sit right with you? Imagine what would change if, from this moment forward, you stopped rewarding those actions. You'd create a dynamic where attraction is built on respect, trust, and shared values. And isn't that what we all deserve? To be pursued, not because we've tolerated less, but because we've shown ourselves to be women of high value and unshakable confidence. The next step in this journey will show you how to take this foundation even further. Stay with me. You're about to unlock the most intriguing aspect of attraction yet. 4. The art of emotional resilience. Picture this. You've had a moment of vulnerability with him. Maybe you shared something close to your heart, or perhaps you felt a connection that seemed undeniable. Then, suddenly he pulls back, cold, distant, uninterested. What's your first instinct? Do you panic, chase, or overanalyze? Or do you pause, breathe, and realize that his actions don't define your worth? This is where emotional resilience becomes your superpower. The ability to remain composed, confident, and unshaken by external circumstances is one of the most attractive traits you can embody. Men, whether they admit it or not, are drawn to women who possess an inner calm, a quiet strength that doesn't waver in the face of uncertainty. Emotional resilience isn't about pretending you don't care or hiding your feelings. It's about cultivating the self-assurance to handle challenges with grace. When he pulls away, it's not a test of his interest, it's a test of your stability. Do you crumble and beg for his attention? Or do you maintain your composure, letting your actions communicate that you are a woman who cannot be easily swayed? Here's where Stoicism offers invaluable insight. The philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control and to let go of what we cannot. You cannot control his mood, his fears, or his hesitations, but you can control your response to them. When you refuse to let his behavior dictate your self-worth, you send a powerful message. I am enough, whether you see it or not. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. In fact, emotional resilience requires a deep understanding of your feelings. When you acknowledge them without allowing them to consume you, you create space for clarity and strength. You become the eye of the storm, calm and unwavering while chaos swirls around you. Men are instinctively attracted to this strength. They respect a woman who doesn't lose herself in the highs and lows of a relationship. Think about it. When was the last time you found someone irresistible because they were desperate or reactive? Likely never. Attraction thrives in balance, not chaos. But how do you cultivate emotional resilience in moments of doubt? Start with awareness. Notice the thoughts that arise when things don't go as planned. Are you catastrophizing, assuming the worst, or spiraling into self-doubt? Take a step back and remind yourself that emotions are temporary. They ebb and flow like waves. Your value remains constant, untouched by his reactions. Next, practice self-soothing techniques. When you feel your emotions rising, turn inward. Journaling, mindfulness, or even a simple breathing exercise can ground you in the present moment. The more you strengthen your emotional core, the less power external events will have over you. Here's the beautiful part. Emotional resilience doesn't just benefit you, it transforms the dynamics of attraction. When a man sees that you're unshaken by his unpredictability, he's compelled to lean in. Your steadiness becomes a safe haven, a magnet that draws him closer. He starts to wonder, how is she so composed? What makes her so different? But this isn't about winning him over, it's about elevating yourself. Emotional resilience allows you to navigate relationships without losing sight of who you are. It gives you the confidence to walk away from situations that don't serve you, knowing that your happiness isn't dependent on anyone else. So, the next time you face uncertainty, ask yourself, what would a woman of resilience do in this moment? She wouldn't plead, panic, or overreact. She would stand tall, secure in the knowledge that she brings value simply by being herself. And here's the paradox. The more you embody this strength, the more he'll realize how rare and extraordinary you are. Emotional resilience, rooted in dark Stoic psychology, isn't just a skill, it's a state of being. It's what sets you apart and makes you unforgettable. Stay with me as we dive deeper into how you can take this inner strength and channel it into a presence so captivating, it will redefine the way men see you. The next step will unlock another layer of your power. You're just getting started. 5. The power of directness. Imagine a scenario. You're texting back and forth with someone you're interested in. The conversation is light, playful, and enjoyable, until it suddenly drifts into vagueness. You're left wondering, what does he actually want? Where is this going? It's frustrating, isn't it? Now, flip the script. Think about how many men might feel the same way when the signals they receive are unclear or overly complicated. Directness is a rare quality, and that's precisely why it's so powerful. When you communicate with clarity, you create an immediate sense of trust and reliability. Men are drawn to women who know what they want and aren't afraid to express it. There's no guessing, no hidden agenda, just pure confidence in your intentions. But being direct doesn't mean being blunt or harsh. It's about striking the perfect balance. Honest without being overwhelming, clear without being cold. It's the art of saying exactly what you mean in a way that leaves no room for doubt. For example, instead of playing games or hinting at your expectations, try this. I'd enjoyed our conversations, and I'd like to see where this goes. What are your thoughts? This kind of statement isn't pushy. It's empowering. It shows that you value your time and theirs, and it invites them to meet you on the same level of openness. Directness also aligns with the teachings of Stoicism, which emphasize clarity of thought and purpose. A Stoic approach to communication involves speaking with intention, using words that reflect your values and goals. When you adopt this mindset, you naturally command respect. You're no longer just another voice in the crowd. You're a force of nature who knows her worth. So, why is directness so captivating? It's simple. Men are wired to respond to authenticity. In a world full of mixed signals and second-guessing, being upfront sets you apart. It eliminates confusion and allows both of you to connect on a deeper, more genuine level. You're not just making small talk, you're creating a foundation for something real. But let's be honest. Being direct can feel vulnerable. It requires courage to put yourself out there, especially when there's a risk of rejection. Yet, this very vulnerability is what makes you irresistible. Men are drawn to women who embrace their fears and act with confidence anyway. It's the ultimate display of emotional strength. Think about it. When you're clear about your intentions, you set the tone for how others interact with you. You're no longer at the mercy of someone else's whims. Instead, you're guiding the interaction with poise and purpose. This level of control, rooted in dark Stoic psychology, not only attracts attention but also commands respect. So, how can you incorporate directness into your interactions? Start small. The next time you're unsure about someone's intentions, ask instead of assuming. When you want to express your interest, do it with grace. And when something bothers you, address it calmly but firmly. These small changes create a ripple effect, transforming the way others perceive and respond to you. And now, let me ask you, have you ever felt frustrated because of unclear communication in a relationship? What would change if you committed to being more direct starting today? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so share your experiences in the comments below. If this insight resonates with you, give this video a like. It helps grow our community and ensures you never miss these game-changing tips. The next principle is going to take everything you've learned so far and amplify it. Stick around because the best is yet to come. 6. Igniting curiosity with scarcity. Close your eyes and imagine this scenario. You're scrolling through your phone, and there's a message you're tempted to send. Maybe it's to confirm plans or to check in because you haven't heard from him in a while. But what happens if you don't hit send? What if, instead of reaching out, you let silence do the talking? The answer is simple. You create mystery. Scarcity is one of the most potent psychological triggers. People value what feels rare or hard to obtain. This principle isn't about being deliberately distant or manipulative. It's about making your presence something that's earned and appreciated. Men, like anyone else, are drawn to what they perceive as special. And when your attention is selective, it becomes a prize. Here's the paradox. The more available you make yourself, the less valued you become. Men instinctively know that true treasures require effort. When you're constantly accessible, whether through text messages, calls, or physical availability, you risk becoming predictable. Scarcity, on the other hand, flips the script. It leaves him wondering, why isn't she always available? What is she doing that's so important? But let's be clear, creating scarcity isn't about playing hard to get or disappearing for days on end. It's about maintaining a balance where your attention is meaningful, not automatic. When you're selective about how you invest your time and energy, you elevate its value. This approach, rooted in dark Stoic psychology, shifts the dynamics of attraction in your favor. They think about the Stoic principle of valuing what is within your control. Your time, energy, and focus are entirely yours to direct. When you choose to protect these resources, you send a powerful message, not just to others, but to yourself. You're declaring that your life is full and purposeful, and that anyone who wants to be part of it must bring something valuable to the table. Imagine this in practice. Instead of responding instantly to his message as you pause, you take time to think about your reply. Or maybe you wait until you're genuinely free to respond. When he invites you to an impromptu plan, you don't drop everything unless it aligns with your priorities. These small actions subtly communicate that your world doesn't revolve around him, and that's incredibly attractive. Here's a real-world example. A woman who is deeply invested in her passions, whether it's her career, hobbies, or personal growth, is naturally more intriguing than someone who waits by the phone. Her life is dynamic and self-sufficient, which makes her attention feel like a reward rather than a given. Scarcity also builds anticipation. When you're not constantly available, each interaction becomes more meaningful. It creates a sense of longing, a space for him to miss you and wonder about you. This isn't about withholding affection or playing games. It's about fostering a dynamic where mutual effort and appreciation thrive. And here's the kicker. Men are far more likely to invest in relationships where they feel challenged. Scarcity doesn't mean being unattainable. It means setting a standard that encourages effort. When he sees that your time and energy aren't given away freely, he's inspired to step up, to earn your presence, and to keep your attention. This approach, however, requires discipline. It's tempting to be overly available, especially when you're genuinely interested in someone. But remember, creating scarcity isn't about distancing yourself. It's about respecting your own boundaries and ensuring that your interactions are intentional and valuable. So ask yourself, what makes my attention special? When you begin to see your energy as a limited resource, you naturally start treating it with care. And in doing so, you ignite curiosity, intrigue, and a deeper level of connection. Scarcity isn't just a strategy, it's a reflection of your self-worth. It's a way of saying, I value myself, and you should too. Stay with me, because the next principle will take this dynamic even further, adding another layer to your magnetic presence. You're building something extraordinary here. Let's keep going. 7. Reframing rejection as growth. Rejection. It's a word that can make your heart sink and your confidence waver. But what if rejection wasn't the devastating blow you think it is? What if it's a hidden gift, a chance to refine, grow, and step even closer to the version of yourself you're meant to be? In the dance of attraction, rejection is inevitable. Even the most confident, self-assured individuals face moments when the answer is no or when someone pulls away unexpectedly. But here's the secret. Rejection doesn't define your worth. In fact, how you handle it can elevate your value, not just in his eyes, but in your own. Reframing rejection is about seeing it not as an ending, but as a redirection. Think about it. If someone doesn't see your value, does that diminish you? Of course not. It simply means they weren't the right match for your energy and potential. And that's a good thing because it frees you to press on someone who is. This perspective ties closely to Stoicism, which teaches us to approach life's challenges with grace and composure. The Stoic mindset reframes adversity as an opportunity for growth. When faced with rejection, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to improve, not just in relationships but in life? Rejection often stings because it feels personal. But the truth is, it's rarely about you. It could be about timing, circumstances, or something entirely unrelated to you. Understanding this helps you detach from the emotional weight of the situation. You begin to see rejection not as a judgment of your worth, but as a neutral event. Here's where dark Stoic psychology comes into play. When you react to rejection with calmness and self-assurance, you project an air of resilience that's deeply attractive. Imagine a scenario where you express interest in someone and they don't reciprocate. Instead of sulking or seeking validation, you smile, thank them for their honesty, and move on. That composure is magnetic because it shows that your confidence doesn't hinge on anyone's approval. But how do you actually cultivate this mindset? Start by embracing the idea that failure is a necessary part of success. Each rejection sharpens your understanding of what works, what doesn't, and what you truly want. Think of it like refining a skill. Every misstep brings you closer to mastery. Next, use rejection as a mirror. Ask yourself, was there something I could have done differently? Did I fully express my authentic self? This isn't about blaming yourself, but about using the experience as a tool for self-reflection. Sometimes the answer will be no. There's nothing you could or should have changed. And other times you'll discover small tweaks that make a big difference. For example, maybe you realize that you've been overly eager, giving too much too soon. Or perhaps you've been holding back, afraid to show vulnerability. Rejection highlights these patterns, giving you the clarity to adjust and grow. With each lesson, you become more attuned to your strengths, and your presence becomes more powerful. There's also a beauty in rejection's finality. It's a door closing so that another can open. When you cling to what isn't meant for you, you block new opportunities from entering your life. By accepting rejection gracefully, you create space for something or someone better suited to your path. Think of historical figures like Marcus Aurelius, whose Stoic philosophy guided him through countless challenges. As a Roman emperor, he faced betrayals, losses, and setbacks that could have crushed his spirit. Yet he approached each with the belief that every obstacle was a chance to grow stronger. Rejection in your personal life works the same way. It's a test of your resilience, a challenge to rise above fleeting emotions. So, what's the takeaway? Rejection isn't the end of the story. It's a chapter that propels you forward. It's a chance to prove to yourself and others that your value doesn't waver in the face of adversity. When you embrace rejection as growth, you turn what could have been a stumbling block into a stepping stone. The next time you face rejection, pause, take a deep breath, smile, and remind yourself, this is not about me, it's about my journey. In reframing rejection, you don't just survive it, you thrive because of it. And in that thriving, you become a beacon of strength, resilience, and undeniable allure. Stay with me, because we're about to uncover another layer of this powerful transformation. The best is yet to come. Let's keep building the framework for a magnetic, unstoppable version of yourself. 8. Controlling the narrative. Picture this. You walk into a room and instead of blending into the background, you command attention. Not because you're loud or trying too hard, but because your presence speaks volumes. People don't just notice you, they're drawn to you. They want to know your story, your thoughts, and your world. How do you create this kind of magnetism? By controlling the narrative. Attraction is as much about perception as it is about reality. The narrative you craft around yourself defines how others see you and how they respond to you. But here's the secret. Instead of waiting for someone to create a story about you, you take the lead. You become the author of your own allure. What does controlling the narrative mean in practice? It's about shaping the way others perceive your value. It's about highlighting your strengths, embracing your uniqueness, and strategically directing attention to the qualities that set you apart. Think of yourself as a rare gem, every facet reflecting something extraordinary. Start by asking yourself, what makes me unforgettable? It could be your passion for adventure, your dedication to personal growth, or the way you make others feel seen and appreciated. Whatever it is, own it fully. When you lean into what makes you unique, you create a narrative that others can't help but be intrigued by. But here's the twist. The most compelling stories are the ones that leave some things unsaid. Mystery is an essential ingredient in attraction. When you reveal just enough to spark curiosity, but hold back enough to keep him wondering, you create a dynamic that draws him in. He'll want to know more, to peel back the layers of your story. This approach ties beautifully into dark Stoic psychology. In Stoicism, there's a focus on self-control and intentionality. You don't have to overshare or seek constant validation to connect with others. Instead, you remain grounded, sharing your world thoughtfully and deliberately. This restraint not only protects your energy but also heightens your allure. For example, imagine you're on a date. Instead of detailing every aspect of your life, you share a meaningful story about a challenge you overcame or a goal you're passionate about. You let your words hint at the depth of your character without spelling it all out. This isn't about being elusive. It's about being intentional. Controlling the narrative also means being selective about what you tolerate. If someone tries to diminish your value or test your boundaries, you redirect the narrative. You make it clear, through your actions, that you won't settle for less than mutual respect and effort. This silent confidence speaks louder than any words. Let's take a moment to reflect. What story are you telling about yourself right now? Are you portraying yourself as someone who knows their worth, someone with a rich and vibrant life? Or are you unintentionally letting others dictate your value? The beauty of controlling the narrative is that you can rewrite it at any time. You have the power to shape how others see you by how you see yourself. Now here's a challenge for you. Share one aspect of your story that makes you unique in the comments below. What's a passion, a strength, or a quality that defines you? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and you might just inspire someone else to embrace their narrative. If you're finding these insights helpful, give this video a like. It's a simple way to show that you're ready to take charge of your story and your life. And trust me, there's so much more to explore. The next principle will tie everything together, helping you solidify the irresistible presence you've been building. Let's dive deeper, because your journey is just getting started. 9. Never change your plans for him. Imagine you're in the middle of a plan that excites you, an evening with friends, a fitness class you've been looking forward to, or a personal project that's been fueling your creativity. Then, out of the blue, he calls. He wants to meet, and he asks you to rearrange your plans. What do? The answer is simple. You don't. One of the most powerful ways to maintain your value in any relationship is by honoring your commitments to yourself. When you change your plans at the drop of a hat to accommodate someone else, you send a subtle but significant message. My time isn't as important as yours. Over time, this dynamic erodes respect and shifts the balance of power away from you. By sticking to your plans, you communicate that your life is full, purposeful, and centered around your priorities. This doesn't mean being inflexible or dismissive, it's about demonstrating that your time is precious. When a man sees that you won't abandon your commitments for him, it intrigues him. He starts to wonder, what is it about her life that's so fulfilling? This principle aligns with Stoicism, which teaches us to focus on what is within our control and live intentionally. Your plans, your passions, and your commitments are all within your control. By staying true to them, you cultivate a sense of self-respect that radiates outward. People, including men, are drawn to those who hold their ground and prioritize their own growth. Think of it this way. Every time you honor your commitments, you're reinforcing your narrative as a woman of depth and independence. You're showing that your world doesn't revolve around anyone else, no matter how much you might care for them. And paradoxically, this independence makes you even more captivating. Men respect and admire women who don't sacrifice their authenticity for the sake of validation. But what about flexibility? Isn't compromise important in relationships? Absolutely. The key is knowing the difference between healthy compromise and sacrificing your values. If he plans ahead or respects your schedule, meeting him halfway shows consideration. But if he's constantly asking you to drop everything for his convenience, it's time to set a boundary. Here's how this might look in action. He calls you last minute to hang out, but you've already planned a self-care evening or dinner with a friend. Instead of saying, "Sure, I'll cancel," You respond with something like, "That sounds great, but I'm already committed tonight. Let's find a time that works for both of us." This reply is polite but firm, showing that while you're interested, your life doesn't pause for him. Over time, this approach has a profound effect on how others perceive you. He begins to see you as someone who values herself and expects the same in return. This mutual respect lays the foundation for a healthier, more balanced connection. Beyond relationships, this principle also applies to your own personal growth. By refusing to change your plans for fleeting distractions, you create a life rooted in purpose. You stay on track with your goals, whether they're professional, physical, or emotional. This dedication to self-improvement reflects the teachings of dark Stoic psychology, the idea that true strength comes from prioritizing what truly matters. So, the next time you're tempted to rearrange your life to fit someone else's schedule, pause. Ask yourself, what message am I sending about my time and my priorities? When you choose to stick to your commitments, you send a powerful signal, not just to him, but to yourself. You affirm your value, your purpose, and your right to live authentically. In the end, a man who respects you will never ask you to compromise your worth. And when you hold firm to this principle, you create a dynamic where mutual effort, respect, and admiration thrive. You're not just someone who fits into his life. You're someone with a life so compelling that he wants to fit into yours. With this final piece of the puzzle, you've now unlocked the framework for mastering attraction through purpose, confidence, and independence. The journey doesn't end here, but the foundation you've built will guide you to even deeper connections and a life of meaning and self-respect. As we wrap up this journey, let's take a moment to reflect on the incredible transformation you've begun. By embracing these 9 principles, you've unlocked the secrets of attraction that go beyond the surface. You've learned to withhold attention wisely, to cultivate independence and purpose, and to stop rewarding behaviors that don't align with your worth. You've stepped into a mindset of emotional resilience, mastered the art of directness, and understood the magnetic power of scarcity. You've also reframed rejection as a stepping stone rather than a setback, controlled the narrative of your own story, and embraced the unwavering commitment to honoring your plans. These tools, rooted in Stoicism and dark Stoic psychology, aren't just about influencing others, they're about elevating yourself. They're about becoming the version of you who is confident, composed, and undeniably captivating. But let's be clear. This isn't about manipulating men or playing games. It's about authenticity. It's about showing up as the most powerful, grounded version of yourself and letting the right people be drawn to your energy. Attraction isn't a trick. It's a reflection of your inner world. And when your inner world is rich, balanced, and purposeful, it naturally shines outward. So, where do you go from here? Take these principles and weave them into your daily life. Start small. Practice 1 or 2 strategies at a time, and watch how the dynamics around you begin to shift. Pay attention to how others respond, not just men, but everyone. You'll notice an increased respect for your time, your energy, and your presence. And remember, this journey is ongoing. Attraction isn't a destination, it's a practice. It's about continually growing, learning, and refining. As you move forward, let these principles guide you, not just in relationships, but in every aspect of your life. Use them to build stronger connections, to create opportunities, and to live with purpose. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these principles resonated with you the most? How will you start implementing them in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this guide has inspired you or opened your eyes to new possibilities, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's grow this community together, supporting one another as we step into our power. Thank you for being part of this journey. Here's to becoming the most magnetic, confident version of yourself, one step, one sprawl, one moment at a time. Until next time, stay bold, stay radiant, and stay true to yourself. You've got this.